You might have heard this name somewhere. Basically, now we have two sections of flip-flop. One is known as master section and other is known as slave section. So let us first make the slave section. Basically, to make this flip-flop we need several NAND gate, and we need at least 8 NAND gates like this. This is Q output, Q bar. This is clock input of this slave section. This section is slave section. We will connect this clock later on. Then this is master section. And one of the input of this gate is connected with the complemented output, and one of the input of this gate is connected with the normal output. And this is a big picture, quite big picture. So okay, this clock is connected with the clock input of the slave with inverter in series. So this section is master section and this section is slave section. If you see, if we simply give the number to this NAND gates, this is gate number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So these are the gates that are required to make the master slave JK flip-flop. Now we will see how this flip-flop performs its action. So let us make a truth table, a characteristic table, to explain the overall functionality. So better to make it on separate sheet. We have basically two inputs JK and one of the control input clock and normal and complemented output. Okay, now you see, just to start with, that here we do not apply edge triggering of the clock, rather we apply level triggering, and we consider the operation of the total circuit in total period of the clock. This means we observe what happens in the master part of the circuit when the clock is 1 and what happens in the slave part of the circuit when clock is 0. Okay, so let us start with the situation that clock is level 1, clock is level 1, means 1 is applied over here. Okay, and just I am picking the situation that Q is 0 and Q bar is 1. You may assume some other situation like Q is 1 and Q bar is 0. You may assume, but randomly I am starting with this latched condition, that this has been already there in the output. Okay, so suppose J is 0 and K is 1. This we are applying. Okay, if this clock is 1, this means this part of the clock is applied, then what will reach over here? 0. Okay, definitely if this part of the clock is applied at this end, so an inverter is connected in series, so what is reaching over here is 0. Okay, so when this part of the circuit is active, this remains passive, and when this part of the circuit remains active, in the positive part of the clock. Okay, and if you see just after this, what will be applied in the clock? 0. Okay, in this part of the clock cycle, what appears, what situation appear? This master part of the circuit becomes passive and the slave part of the circuit becomes active. Why? Because 0 is reaching over here, making everything 1 1, and 1 1 at the input of SR latch is not going to show you any change at this point. Okay, but at the same moment 1 will reach over here. So what has been applied earlier, what has been there earlier before the arrival of this 1, they will proceed to show, to change the output at point Q and Q bar. Okay, so what analysis we have been doing, that J is 0, K is 1, and clock is applied this way, and okay, here it was 0 and it was 1 because of the previous latched situation. Okay, so what will appear over here because of this combination? We have to see what is feeded back. What is feeded back? Definitely 1 is feeded back, 0 has been applied, and 1 is appearing over here because of the positive part of the clock. Okay, so definitely it will be 1 at this point. And what will appear over here? 0 is feeded back, and this 0 will make it 1. Okay, and this 1 1 1 1 means what has been there to make this situation 0 1, that will remain over here. Okay, 1 1 means there will be no change at the point over here. Okay, so what was here to make it 0 1, definitely it had been 0 1. Okay, so 0 1 will remain at this point. Okay, you can verify it that 0 is feeded back over here. Okay, and this 0 1 is making it 1, and 1 and this 1 is making it 0. But at this moment when it is 1, it cannot further proceed. It will not further proceed because this 0 will block everything. Why? Because this 0 is making it 1 1, and 1 1 means there is no change. Okay, so as and when this clock goes 0, now this part of the circuit becomes active. This becomes 1, and definitely this 0 1 is 1. Okay, and this 1 1 makes it 0, and what will happen? This 0 at one of the input of NAND gate will make it 1. 1 was there, no problem, we will make it 1, and this 1 and this 1 Okay, it is fed back, will make it 0. So 0 was there in the present state and 0 would be there in the next state. 1 was there in the present state and 1 would be there in the next state. Getting my point? So what we applied, in fact, we applied 0, 1, and what we are getting is 0, 1. Getting my point? So I have simply written that input output situation. Now suppose we are going to change the input, and I am simply writing the changed input with different color because it will be very, and the changed input is 1 0 1 0. Present state is 0 1. Now I am flowing with the currently available present state. Okay, present state is this 0 1, and we have getting this part of the clock at the clock input, means level 1. So master part of the circuit is active, slave part of the circuit is passive. So let us see what will happen. Definitely this 0 is fed back at this point. Okay, this 0 will make it 1, and what happens over here? 1 is applied, 1 has been fed back, and 1 is there. This is making it 0. 0 at the input of NAND gate, need not to see what is coming at other input. This will make it 1, and what is there? 1 and 1, this is making it 0. But this 1 0 is now blocked by this clock. Why? Because here at this point, say at the point of clock dash or clock bar, if I say this to be clock, so definitely this will be clock bar. So at clock bar I am getting 0. So 0 will make this 1 and this 1. But suppose the time has come that when this clock will become 0. What will happen? 0 will be here, this part of the circuit will become passive, and now 1 is available over here, and this part of the circuit becomes active. So 1 has been applied. Okay, this is making it 0. 0 has been applied, and 1 because of this clock is making it 1, and 0 at the input of this NAND gate is making it 1, and definitely this one and this one will make it 0. So what condition is going to occur at the output? 1 0. What has been applied at the input? 1 and 0. So we are applying 1 at the J, 0 at the K, we are getting 1 at the Q and 0 at the Q bar. So this situation is latched. Okay. I am showing the total period of the clock on and off because the total action takes place in this total tenure. Okay. In one part of this time, master is being active, and in other part of the time, slave is active. So if 1 is applied over here, 0 is applied over here, to make the latch output 1 0, it takes the total time of the clock to perform this action. Okay, getting my point? Suppose 0 0 has been applied, what will happen? You can very easily analyze that it is going to do no change in the output. Okay, you can very easily analyze it. I am not going into the analysis of this part. Okay. Now, what interesting behavior of the circuit that is needed to observe is when both the inputs are 1 1. Okay, what happens? You see, when both the inputs are 1 1. So let us use red color pen to distinguish everything, and we have applied this part of the clock. Okay, so 1 has been applied. Getting my point? Now you see, 1 has been applied, 1 is there, 1 is here. Who is going to make any trigger? 0, which is coming from whatever source. That can make any trigger. So this 0 is coming over here. Okay. So this will make it 1. Okay. And this all 1, feedback 1 is itself a 1, will make it 0. And this is SR latch. So 0 appearing over here will make it 1, and this will make it 0. But now this 0 1 is not allowed to flow further, because here channel is blocked by this low clock. Now you imagine the situation when this time has arrived, that clock becomes 0, because it is a cycle. Sometimes clock will be 1, and for sometimes it will be 0. So when clock becomes 0, this becomes 1, and now the available input at this point, they can flow forward and they can make any change. So this 0 and 1 will make it 1, and this 1 and 1 will make it 0. Definitely this will be 1. Okay, getting my point? And this will be 0. So what has been observed earlier as an output, the same situation has reversed. 1 has become 0 and 0 has become 1. So toggling is observed at the output. Okay, toggling is observed at the output. Now you see, this input will further be feeded back at this point. So no, this will be feeded at this point. Okay, and this will be feeded at this point. This 1 will be feeded over here, and this 0 will be feeded over here. Okay, but you see whether they are able to make any change at this instant of time? No, because what is the situation of clock? It is 0. Okay, now you see the situation when clock is alternatively it is becoming 1 0 1 0, and J and K both are 1 1, J equal to 1, K equal to 1, and clock is acting this way, and basically at this point Q became from 0 to 1. Okay, Q was 0 before the arrival of, or Q was 1 before the arrival of this time, and it became 0 just after the arrival of this time instant. It became 0, but up to which time it will remain 0? You see, it will remain 0, or if it has been 0 before the arrival of that clock and it became 1, so it will remain 1 up to the arrival of this next edge. Getting my point? You can very easily observe it in this circuit. Okay, to explain this, let us draw another circuit, because here the things has become very complicated. Okay. Suppose we have permanently applied one at this point and one at this point, meaning thereby we have simply attached these two input at a single point. You imagine the situation. Okay. This has been attached to a single point and one has been applied over here, and clock is altering this way. 1 0 1 0 is appearing at the clock. Okay. Then you see what will happen. And before this, suppose this situation was 0 1 over here. Okay. So just on the completion of this clock, it will become 1 0. Okay. And it will remain 1 0 up to this total time, and after this time it will further become 0 and this will become 1. Getting my point? So once it will become 0, it will remain 0 up to the arrival of this time, and then after this time it will once again become 1. Okay. So this is the action of T flip flop. This is the action of T flip flop. J and K both are 1. On the occurrence of one clock edge, it changes its state, output changes its state, and it remains until the occurrence of next edge. Okay. And on the occurrence of next edge, it changes its state and it remains in the same state until the occurrence of next edge. Now you see, this phenomena is observed in master slave JK flip flop without the involvement of edge triggering circuit. Okay. We are simply applying the level clocking and we are getting the desired output. We are getting no oscillation in the output. Race around condition has been removed, and this is the main benefit or gain of this circuit, you can say. Okay. So this way master slave JK flip flop is fabricated on ICs, because it is very difficult to fabricate capacitor on ICs. Okay. And to realize a differentiator circuit basically on IC is impractical. So for IC fabrication we always prefer master slave JK flip flop. Okay. Now let us proceed for the excitation table of the rest of the flip flops. So far we have discussed the excitation table of SR flip flop. Excitation table of SR flip flop have been discussed. Now let us discuss the excitation table of D flip flop. D flip flop have been discussed or not? Excitation table of D flip flop? No. Okay. Suppose we have this D latch, and when I say excitation table, then I will be interested to observe what input should be applied to make the desired transition from Qn to Qn plus 1, where Qn is the present state and Qn plus 1 is the next state. Okay. And this table is used in designing of the sequential machine or designing of state machines. So definitely we have Qn and Qn plus 1, and then what should be applied to observe this change. So if Qn is 0 and we are further willing to make it 0, in the next state we are willing to make it 0. So what should be applied at D? To achieve this, definitely we have to apply 0. If suppose Qn was 0 and we have to change it to the 1, so what should be applied to the D? What should be applied to the D? 1. Okay. Getting my point? If Qn was 1 and we wish to make it 0, then we are willing to make it 0. It is 1. Present state is 1. And we are willing to make this transition. Then what should be applied? 0. And if it is 1 and we are willing to make it 1 in the next state, okay, then 1. Okay. What I wish to say that if suppose here it was 0 and in the next state we are willing that it should be 0, so 0 should be applied over here, okay, to do this kind of action. If 0 was here and we are willing to make it 1, then what should we apply? 1, okay. And suppose if 1 was here and we are willing to make it 0, what should be applied over here to achieve our goal? 0, okay. And if 1 is here, if 1 is here and we are willing to make it 1, what should be applied? 1, okay. So let us, this is known as excitation table of D flip flop. Excitation table of D flip flop. Now let us make the excitation table of T flip flop. Suppose we have getting the output, getting the present state at 0 and we are willing to make it 0. So what should be applied at T input to achieve this condition? 0. 0 0 means 0 0 at both the input of JK flip flop, and 0 0 at both the input of JK flip flop is not going to change output state, it will remain the same. But suppose if it was 0 and we are willing to make it 1, so definitely we have to apply 1. If it is 1 and we are willing to make it 0, then this is a toggle situation, we have to change the output state. So for that we need to apply 1. And if it is 1 and we are willing to make it 1 in the next state, what should be applied? 0. Okay. So this is excitation table of your T flip flop. Getting? Now let us see the excitation table of JK flip flop. Qn and Qn plus 1. And what should be applied at J and K? This is your JK and Qn. You see, if 0 is available at present state and we are willing to make it 0 in the next state, what should be applied at J and K? 0 is there and we are willing to make it 0, this means it is a no change kind of situation, and to achieve no change we have to apply 0 0. So 0 0 is one of the possible input which fulfill the condition at the input, so that 0 will make a transition of 0. Okay. Is there any other input condition which will fulfill the input situation? 0 1. 0 1 is another input combination which can make the same output transition. This means 0, J is 0 and K is 1, and this gives us a condition that J should be definitely equal to 0, but K is don't care. Okay. We can apply anything 0 or 1 at the K. This means just to put the concluding remark, we will make here another table. This is Qn and Qn plus 1, and here it is J and K. Means to make this transition, we have to put J equal to 0 and K equal to don't care. This is the final table. This is final table. And this is the intermediate worksheet that we are working with. Suppose if we are willing to make this transition, means 0 is there at the input, but we are willing to make it 1 in the next state. So what should be applied over here? It is a toggle type behavior. So 1 1 applied at the input can do this kind of change. 1 1 applied at the input, it can do this kind of change. It will toggle the output, and 1 0 at input, this can also fulfill to make this change. Okay. This means definitely at J input it should be 1, and at K input it should be don't care. Getting my point? So if 0 is there and 1 1 is the desired next state, then what should be applied at J? 1, and at K don't care. Okay. And suppose if 1 was there as a present state and we are willing to make it 0. In the present state there was 1 and we are interested to make it 0 in the next state. Then 1 1 at the input can do this kind of action, because this will make it a T flip flop, and when it becomes T flip flop, then transition in output state occurs. Okay. Now 1 1 or 0 1, 0 applied at J and 1 applied at K will also give you the same situation in the output. This means at J point you can apply either 0 or 1, means don't care, and at K point, K input 1. Okay. Getting my point? Now suppose if 1 was there and we are willing to make it 1 in the next state, 1 was there, okay, and we are interested to make it 1 in the next state, then what should be applied at the input? It is no change situation. So 0 0 will do the required job, okay, and 1 0 will also do the required job. Getting my point? So don't care at J and 0 at K. So don't care at J and 0 at K are the desired input to make this change. Okay. So this is the excitation table of SR flip flop, D flip flop, T flip flop, and JK flip flop. Now, since we got the excitation table of all the 4 flip flops, now we can perform the conversion of one kind of flip flop to other kind of flip flop. Conversion of, say, RS flip flop to D flip flop. Conversion of RS flip flop to D flip flop. How this conversion can be done, you see. Basically, we have with us is a RS flip flop, and using this RS flip flop, we are simply interested to make a D flip flop. Suppose at the outside of this, at the inside of this broken box, which is shown by this broken line, we have a D flip flop. Okay. Now, how this RS flip flop should be assembled using some combinational logic part so that it can behave as a D flip flop. It should behave as a D flip flop. So, for this, we will make the truth table of D flip flop, means truth table of required flip flop. The very first step is to draw the design procedure. first you draw or write down the truth table of required flip flop. And what is required flip flop in this situation is D flip flop. And then you draw the excitation table of given flip flop. And what is the given flip flop? SR flip flop or RS flip flop. Okay, and then we can proceed for the designing. So let us write down the truth table of required flip flop, or we can say that it should be the characteristic table of the required flip flop rather. So if D is 0 and Qn is 0, characteristic table of the required flip flop. If D is 0 and Qn is 0, definitely Qn plus 1 will be 0. If D is 0 and Qn is 1, so it will become 0. If D is 1 and Qn is 0, it will become 1. Okay, and if D is 1 and Qn is 1, it will remain 1. Okay. So if any circuitry shows this kind of action or transition on the application of input at D point like this, if any circuitry shows this kind of transition, that circuitry will behave as a D flip flop. Okay, agreed with this or not? If any circuitry shows this kind of transition on the occurrence of these inputs, that circuitry will behave as a D flip flop. So let us fulfill this kind of transition on SR flip flop. On SR flip flop, simply what should be applied on S and R input so that SR flip flop can show this kind of transition? I apply the required input at S and R. This is obtained from the excitation table of SR flip flop. Excitation table of SR flip flop. Okay. So you recall the excitation table of SR flip flop. This is S and this is R, this is Qn, and this is making a transition into Qn plus 1. 0 was there and 0 is the next state. This means it is a no change. No change. Okay. So there should be, and for no change, what we apply at S and R? 0, 0. And is there any other input which fulfills the same situation? 0, 1. 0, 1. Okay. So 0 and don't care at R. If this is applied at S input and this is applied at R input, so SR flip flop is going to show you this transition. Okay. Now to show this transition, what should be applied? 1 is there and it has to be, it will become 0 in the next state. So 1 was there and it should become 0 in the next state. So definitely 0, 1, 0, 1. Okay. So 0 and 1. And 0 was there and it has to become 1. So 1, 0. And 1 is there and it should remain 1. So this is no change situation. No change situation. Okay, no change means 0, 0. And for 1, you need to apply 1 at S and 0 at R. This means don't care at S and 0 at R. So if we apply this input at S point, at S input of our flip flop, what has been the design for this? Okay, here is the design. If we apply at S input, we apply the 0 0 1 1 1 or don't care, and at R input if we apply this don't care 1 0 0 on the occurrence of these transitions, we have this input available with us. Okay, we have this input available with us as an external input. We have this Qn available with us. We have D available with us. What we have to apply at this S input is now an output with the combination of these two inputs. Getting my point? Okay, and this has now a output point with these two combinations. So this is a 2 input 1 output situation of K map, and this is once again a 2 input and 1 output situation of a K map realization. Okay, so let us realize a function for S and a function for R, keeping this D and Qn as input. Okay, so how it can be realized, you see. Let us proceed. So for S we have D bar and D, and we have Qn bar and Qn. So you see, this is the min term 0 0 0 1 1 0 and 1 1. Okay, so when there should be 1 at 1 0 means D equal to 1 and Qn bar, D Qn bar. At D Qn bar there is 1, and at D Qn there is don't care. At D Qn there is don't care. D Qn there is don't care, and in other cells there is 0. So naturally this is going to make a group. Okay, so what is the outcome of this? S is equal to what? D. S is equal to D. Okay, S is equal to D. If you draw the same K map for R, similar K map for R, so how it can be drawn? You see, for R, this is Qn bar and Qn, D bar and D. When it becomes 1, D bar Qn. Okay, at D bar Qn, it becomes 1 in this cell. Am I right? And at D bar Qn bar it is don't care. So what is the outcome of this? It is D bar. So R is equal to D bar. So what should be applied at R is D bar. What should be applied at S? It is D. Okay. Now according to this realization, what should be applied at S? It is D. And what should be applied at R? It is D bar. Okay. So simply by this modification, this SR flip flop becomes the D flip flop. Getting this track of realization or not? The given flip flop is this. Required flip flop is this outer broken line, shown by this outer broken line. This is D flip flop. This is our required flip flop. What approach we performed? We retain the characteristic table of D flip flop. This means what is desired with this block and how this desire is fulfilled by this SR flip flop. Okay, by simply writing the excitation, corresponding excitation table for SR flip flop. Okay, how that output will be fulfilled by this SR flip flop. So simply we retain the excitation table of SR flip flop. Now this R input is excited by those input combination, and this S input is excited by those input combinations by taking help of this Q and D. And this is the required combinational circuit which is fulfilling the job. Okay. So this way you can convert any given flip-flop into any desired flip-flop. This is one of the goal of your laboratory also. Okay. You have to convert SR flip-flop into D flip-flop, into T flip-flop. You have to convert SR flip-flop into T flip-flop. You have to convert JK flip-flop into the required flip-flops. Okay. So there should be a design procedure, and this is the proper design procedure.